And next on our program, we have Jess, J-E-S-A-I, coming up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joy Parrish, and I had the pleasure of interning with the Office of State and Human Resources.
My name is Eden Youth, and I intern with the Department of Health and Human Services.
And my name is Samara Tark. I intern with the Department of Environmental Quality. Together, our first initials, J, E, and S, form the name of our AI-powered initiative, Jess AI. As part of our internship, we were challenged to find an AI-based solution to a real-world issue impacting North Carolina. So, over the past 4 weeks, my team and I have created Jess AI, a platform that uses artificial intelligence to plan and manage delivery routes for kindergarten to 12th grade student meals during the summer and remote learning periods. We've worked to build a system that helps ensure no child is left without reliable access to food. I'll now give you a quick tour of our website to show how Jess AI supports families and helps delivery teams coordinate meal distribution efficiently in North Carolina. After that, I'll hand things over to Joy and Eden to walk you through our slideshow. Sorry. When you first open the homepage, you'll see our main message, Smart Meal and Route Planning. Our design is simple and clear. It can easily be adapted for other communities and states. As I scroll down, you'll find the meal ordering section, where guardians can select meals that accommodate allergies, dietary restrictions, and personal preferences. While this is a prototype and meal options are not available currently, this layout represents the variety of choices we plan to offer at Jess AI. Further down, we explain our mission, showing how Jess AI works to ensure students have reliable access to nutritious meals during the summer and remote learning periods. Below that, there is a gallery of cooking ideas for families. If you click on any of these images, it will take you to a recipe using ingredients Jess AI delivers, helping guardians prepare easy, healthy meals at home. Next, you'll find our blog, which keeps families and the community connected with helpful tips, news, and updates. Currently, we have published 3 blogs. Our first blog is about creating job opportunities for bus drivers in North Carolina. Our second blog is about empowering students in need through government-based meal delivery. And our third blog is about optimizing meal delivery routes with AI in downtown Raleigh. If I click on one of these blogs, you can see that we have the publisher, the date it was published, and how long we have estimated it will take you to read the blog. And here's an overview of that third blog. Under the Careers tab, we've outlined job opportunities within Jess AI, including partnership coordinators who collaborate with local nonprofits and restaurants, delivery drivers, and GIS route planners who manage our AI-mapped routes. You can learn more or apply for these jobs by clicking the View Course or Book Now buttons. The Menus tab provides examples of meal options guardians can request for their packages. These meals are thoughtfully designed based on Michelle Obama's My Plate guidelines, which emphasize balanced portions of fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. Research shows that following these nutrition principles helps support healthy growth and development in children, which is especially important during the summer periods when school pre-made meals aren't readily available. And here's an overview of what we have currently on our website. We have a variety of fruits, dairy products, and grain products. Finally, our informational slideshow offers a deeper look into Jess AI's features, technology, and goals. At this point, I'll hand things back to Joy and Eden, who will guide you through our slideshow.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joy Parrish, and I'll be walking you through a little bit of our Smart Route Planning slideshow. So, this is our agenda of everything we plan to cover today, all regarding our program, Just AI. First, we're going to start off talking about our problem statement and some statistics that we found to go along with it. To start off, 1 in 5 children across the state of North Carolina face food insecurity, meaning these children lack constant access to food that should be available to them. And that 1 in 5 statistic can later be translated to almost 400,000 kids across the state of North Carolina. When looking deeper into the problem, me and my team found that nearly 60% of students enrolled in North Carolina public school systems qualify for free or reduced price lunching. Often the kids who do qualify for free and reduced price lunching are in households with 130% below the federal income, or receiving some type of food stamps. Thankfully, free and reduced price lunching allows students to get access to food in school with limited or no cost to their families. Unfortunately, for some students, that's the only food they'll receive all day. You can imagine how this becomes a big problem during summer months and remote learning periods when their access to food is disrupted. And that's the plan Just AI is committed to solving. With the help of AI, we plan to help these kids during these times. Here is our current delivery model and some challenges we found to go along with it. So, usually how programs like this work is we'll have a bus go to a pantry or wherever they'll pick up the food and take it back to a school site to have parents or the students who qualify to pick up around once a week. When making Just AI's plan, we discovered that there's a major problem with this. That problem being that students and parents who pick up the food might not have access to actually get to the school.
So as you can see on this slide, we have a heat map of North Carolina showing us the household food insecurity rates across the state by county. So the counties that are shown in darker blue are going to have the highest rates of food insecurity. So like Joy touched on, this is an issue across the entire state, but can be especially prevalent in rural or remote areas where families who lack access to food often also lack access to transportation. So on our next slide, we have a map of sun meal sites across the state. These are schools or community centers where families are currently able to pick up prepackaged meals during the summer. But like you can see, comparing it to our previous slide, the places where families are currently able to pick up food does not always overlay with areas where food insecurity is truly the highest. And if a family lacks access to transportation, they could be driving minutes or hours simply for a nutritious meal.
For reasons just like Eden said, we decided to pivot our plan. So for our plan, we decided to have an idea that the buses can come to the students' houses directly or stops near their homes to make getting the food more accessible for them. Even though we liked this plan, we ran into some logistical challenges and some problems that need to be answered. The first one being, how would the routes be planned? Would we plan them ourselves, or would we have a system do them for us? The next one being, how can we find the most efficient way for the bus routes to be executed? Next, how can we adapt to constantly changing weather for our drivers? And last, but certainly not least, how can we acquire buses, staff, and volunteers to make this all possible? Our solution that we found to this problem was AI optimization. So, what can AI do to really help us? We found that AI can help us analyze data, give us information about population density, school enrollment, and more statistics about food insecurity, so we can make sure we're helping the kids who need it most. Next, AI can give us real-time updates on traffic, changing weather, and road closures that can pop up in an instant, so we can make sure our drivers are prepared. And next, AI can help us schedule the stops to make sure we're saving time, gas, and money. Overall, we found that with AI, we can most effectively help these kids during the school months and remote learning periods to still eat.
Thank you, Joy. So in order to most effectively demonstrate the true improvement in efficiency and equity that our pilot program could have for students across North Carolina, we are proposing a pilot program that would begin in the summer of 2026. So our pilot program would focus on two primary types of regions. So first, we would have our rural counties that have a large geographic area, high food insecurity, and limited transportation. We also want to target underserved urban areas that have high population density, high economic disparity, and traffic variability. So by focusing on these two diverse kinds of settings, we are both going to be helping the families in those areas and testing our program to make sure that it works effectively in many different kinds of areas. So we proposed that our program partner with many different state and community organizations across North Carolina. So first, because the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is the leading state agency overseeing child welfare and food security, we would want to partner with them to help provide coordination and to align our pilot with state food security and equity goals. Next, we want to work with school districts and community centers. School districts are going to be our on-the-ground coordinators, helping to validate student information and addresses, as well as providing the important staff and vehicle resources that we need to operate our program. Finally, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction will help us by providing student lunch eligibility data and by coordinating with families and school districts. So Jess AI has identified 5 main steps to implementing our pilot program. First, we need to collect data. This means student enrollment data that's collected through our online enrollment portal or through paper forms. This also includes geographic data such as students' addresses and road data, and that can again be collected through our partner school districts. Next we need to train and deploy our actual AI models. This means inputting data and using our optimization platforms to actually create our optimized routes. This also means integrating our model with a dispatcher so that we can assign daily routes to delivery drivers. Third, we need to create an easy and accessible user interface so that families and drivers can easily access resources and directions. Then we want to actually start our testing phase. So we're actually going to be deploying delivery drivers onto those optimized routes. And finally, in order to ensure that we are actually improving efficiency, we want to monitor key progress indicators such as meals delivered per hour, miles per meal, fuel used, and more. So we have a huge positive expected impact for our pilot program. This is mostly in the form of boosted efficiency, and this means a reduction in fuel and time costs, more stops per route, and fewer missed stops. We are also going to be reducing vehicle emissions and reaching more communities in need. Finally, our program has huge potential to be scaled to the state level or even be reused in possible school closures like during a disaster or a pandemic. Finally, we would love to show you guys a short demonstration of our prototype for Jess AI. So Jess AI is going to be our mobile app that goes alongside the website that Samara showed you guys earlier in our presentation. So Jess AI is going to be accessible to both families that are qualified and to our delivery drivers to help them navigate. So first, this is an example of something that a student or their family might see when using our app. So you can see an example of an eligibility quiz where families could easily see what benefits they qualify for because, as we know, it can sometimes be very difficult to navigate the school system or the benefits system. So they would also have language accessibility and easy delivery notification so that they would know when their food would arrive. And they could also easily select meal preferences such as vegetarian, vegan, and more, depending on their dietary restrictions or possible religious preferences. So next, this is what a delivery driver would see. So this is the other side of our app. So they would be dispatched daily routes, including ETAs, direct timing, and addresses. And they would also have visual routing and maps so that they could easily and effectively visualize where they're going and travel easily. Finally, they would also have road closure and hazard alerts, and we're doing this to maintain the safety of our drivers and also to prevent any unnecessary delays for the families that are waiting for their meals to be delivered. So that's all we have for you today.
Thank you.